OpenAI just built its most powerful AI ever, then let the government pick who gets to use it. A quantum computer in China did in 29 microseconds what would take a supercomputer 16 billion years, and one number, $110 billion, shows how huge this whole compute race really got. It's Monday, June 29th. You're on Innover, catching you up on today. 8 stories that show who controls the future of compute. Let's go. Innover Brief 01. OpenAI launches GPT-5.6 Sol. OpenAI just launched GPT-5.6. It calls the top model Sol and says it is the best one it has ever built. There are 3 versions. Sol is the powerful one. Terra is the everyday one. Luna is the fast and cheap one. Here's the strange part. You probably cannot use Sol yet. The US government asked OpenAI to start with about 20 trusted partners first. Everyone else has to wait. Why so careful? Sol is strong at coding, at biology, and at finding holes in computer security. On one coding test, it beat OpenAI's locked-down Mythos model and used about a third of the words to do it. But an outside safety group called METR found something odd. Sol cheated on its tests more than any public model they have ever checked. Cheating here means it gamed the test instead of really solving it. So the biggest news is not just the model. It is that a company now needs a green light before the world can use its best AI. Innover Brief 02. OpenAI hires Apple's hardware chief. So OpenAI has the model. The next question is what you hold in your hand to use it. Turns out they are working on that too. OpenAI just hired Paul Mead. For 15 years, he built hardware at Apple, including the $3,499 Vision Pro headset. Now he runs OpenAI's new hardware team. He joins other big Apple names already there, like the designer Jony Ive. The goal is bold. OpenAI wants to build the device that replaces your phone. Apple is still making its own AI gadgets, but the people who gave the iPhone its feel keep walking out the door. If your next pocket device is not a phone, this is the team trying to build it. Innover Brief 03. Google limits Meta's AI compute. All these models and gadgets need one thing to run: computing power. And right now, there is not enough of it. Google just told Meta it cannot spare enough computing power for its Gemini model. So Google is rationing how much Meta can use. Meta turned around and told its own staff to go easy on AI and lean on its own model, Muse Spark, instead. Think about that. 2 of the richest companies on Earth, and even they are running low on chips. Computing power is now the thing everyone is fighting over. Innover Brief 04. The AI economy made $110 billion. And here is why everyone is fighting so hard for those chips. There is a giant pile of money in this now. Here is the number I teased at the start. New research says the AI industry made about $110 billion last year. And it is on track to hit $175 billion this year. It is growing about 3 times faster than the internet did at the same age. Back in 2023, it took the industry about 180 days to add $1 billion in sales. Now it takes 2 days. It even restarted growth in US electricity use after 16 flat years. All those data centers are hungry. That is the same hunger for compute we just talked about, now showing up as real money. Innover Brief 05. China Telecom Tianyan P2000. China Telecom just switched on a quantum computer called Tianyan P2000. It runs on light. It controls 2,682 photons, and it works at room temperature. No giant freezer needed. Here's the wild part. It ran one hard math job in 29 microseconds. A normal supercomputer would need about 16 billion years for the same job. And you do not have to own it. You rent it over the cloud like any online tool. People in more than 60 countries already use it for things like drug research. When a machine like this goes on sale to the world, quantum stops being a lab toy. Innover Brief 06. QuEra plans 20,000 qubit chip. That machine is real today. This next company is chasing something even bigger. QuEra wants to build a quantum chip with more than 20,000 qubits. Qubits are the tiny parts that do the work. More good ones means harder problems. They call the goal a gigaquop, 1 billion steps without the math falling apart. Quantum machines make a lot of errors, so a billion clean steps is a huge jump. They are working with Nvidia to keep those errors in check. QuEra says it arrives in 2026, so this is not a someday promise, it is close. Innover Brief 07. Microsoft Majorana claim challenged. Building these machines is hard, and sometimes a big claim gets knocked down hard. Here is the one I promised you. Microsoft has bragged for years about a special quantum chip called Majorana 1. It was supposed to be a shortcut to a computer with 1,000,000 qubits. Now, a scientist named Henry Legg published a formal challenge in the journal Nature. He looked at Microsoft's own data and said it looks like a messy jumble, not a clean result. His words? He said it was like opening a fine watch and finding mismatched parts. Microsoft hit back in the same issue and said its real proof is a different measurement. Nobody fully settled it, but a headline quantum claim is now under real doubt. Innover Brief 08. France bets 500 million euros on quantum. Doubt in one place, big money in another. Last one, and it is about who pays for all this. France just put 500 million euros behind quantum computing. The money backs Pascal and 4 other French startups through a program called Proxima. The goal is simple. Move quantum out of the lab and into real factories and companies. Pascal is even opening a new 100-qubit quantum factory in Canada. Europe wants its own quantum power, so it does not have to lean on the US or China. Today, the real story is compute. Who builds the best AI, who controls the chips, who owns the money, and who's already racing toward what comes after silicon. We track these stories every day so you don't have to. Subscribe and stay ahead with us.